Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Year in Review Regional Roundtable Series, brought to you by the Employment Law Alliance, the world's largest network of labor and employment lawyers from the best law firms around the globe.
My name is Noelia Sanginés, associate at Moreno Valdivieso, Bolivia, and today I'm joined by my partners and co-workers, René Claure, partner at the firm, and Lilian Rodriguez, who is also an associate, to discuss the most significant legal changes that impact employers in Bolivia during 2022. I believe this past year there have been several relevant changes in our country. I could mention, for example, the regulation of remote work, vacation rights, and the endorsement of several payments as a consequence of the termination of the labor relationship. It also comes to my mind the regulation of express services and the application of acquired labor rights that have been fortified during 2022. I believe that one of the greatest difficulties that employers face nowadays is given when, at the end of the labor relationship, they are unable to pay the corresponding social benefit within the term established by law, either due to the death of the worker, the abandonment of activities. As a consequence of this issue, in 2022, the escrow service was specifically regulated, allowing employers to deposit the social benefits of their ex-workers in a special bank account of the Ministry of Labor. Once the deposit is made, the worker may approach the corresponding departmental labor office to collect his social benefit by means of a check issued by the Ministry of Labor. Therefore, this specific process that has been regulated, the Bolivian government guarantees the payment of social benefit when such payment cannot be made directly to the worker. And under these circumstances, it also protects the employer from being subject of the imposition of fines for not making this payment within the 15 days established by law.
Thank you very much, Lilian. Now, René, let's talk about a very important topic for us. What can you tell us about acquired labor rights?
One of the most controversial points related to the relation between employers and employees is the one that touches acquired rights. Acquired rights have been regulated for the first time in Bolivia during 2022. By means of Supreme Decree, the government of Bolivia established specific regulations concerning acquired rights. These acquired rights can be created by means of a law passed by the Congress by a specific Supreme Decree, or they can also be created by means of a contract. The new Supreme Decree related to acquired rights also establishes that acquired rights are subject to a special protection, and there's a specific prohibition to affect, to eliminate, or to change acquired rights. Within this legal framework, employers have a true challenge. They need to review their compensation structures and be very, very careful when dealing with remunerations, compensations, bonuses, or other type of payments in favor of their employees.
This leads me to a new question. What are your predictions for 2023?
I think for 2023, it is expected that the Bolivian government evaluates the wage increase in the public and private sectors, which is mainly based on the inflation rate, the growth rate, the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank, and the negotiations between the representatives of the workers and the government. About this topic in specific, I think it's really important to consider that according to the recommendations of the International Labour Organization, these type of measures should be taken through a tripartite dialogue involving representatives of the employers, the government, and representatives of the workers, while in Bolivia, such determination is made only through the intervention of the government and representatives of the workers. Therefore, if the Bolivian government anticipates a favorable economic growth during 2023, I believe it is highly probable that the wage increase for workers will be determined in a percentage that usually ranges between 2 to 4%.
This is surely a matter that employers should take into consideration for the future, Lilian. René, I should do the same question. What do you expect for 2023?
For 2023, Noelia, I believe that remote work will still be one of the hottest topics in the employment world. Bolivia does need permanent regulation, permanent norms regarding telework. At present, we only have an emergency regulation which is strictly related to the COVID or to the pandemic times. Therefore, I believe that this is one of the most important challenges that should be addressed by the government. We do need remote work regulations on a permanent basis. Other topics strictly related to remote work, such as hybrid work or smart offices, could be alternatives to explore. Especially smart offices will be the option that will be explored by international companies currently operating in Bolivia. On the other side, I believe that most local companies that are family-based will try to preserve or to put to the test hybrid structures. Many do not believe in remote work. We have to admit that our employment structures are not complex or sophisticated. In most cases, HR is still something missing in most family companies, in most family business. But I think that for 2023, employers do need to think and assess what are the advantages related to remote work or to hybrid structures. For example, our retention to talent could be closely linked to more flexible places at work, to remote work. And although remote work has proven to increase productivity in many places of work, this might not be the choice of many employers. So I think that it is a challenging year and many employers need to consider what decision they will make.
I think your predictions are very accurate and will mean a great contribution to our labor regulation in the future. This is all the time we have today. Thank you for the quick update, Renee and Lilian. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, Noelia. It was my pleasure sharing this important information with you and, of course, with our viewers.
Thank you, Noelia, and thank you, Lily. It was a great pleasure sharing this time with you.
If you'd like to connect with our speakers, please click on the description below, or you can also reach any of our lawyers around the world by selecting Find a Lawyer on the ELA website at ela.law. I'm Noelia Sanginés. Thank you for watching.